Waka waka, motherfucker. Think I've been recording too long today. But anyway, hello everyone. This is the Insert Title Show, and I am your host, Wolf Strife. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about Terence Hawkins' The Rage of Achilles. This came out in 2009 and is a surprisingly really good book. I was very pleasantly surprised by it. I mean, I was expecting it to be interesting, or at least to be an interesting take on the Iliad, but it turned out to be a lot more than that. I mean, it's a very rough and just crazy book. I mean, it's very violent, so is the Iliad in some parts, but there's a lot of crazy violence in this. There's a lot of depraved sex in this. I mean, this is not a titillating book whatsoever. And hell, you know me, I love violence and sex and stuff, but this book is pretty rough. I mean, we are introduced to Achilles within like the first 15 pages of the book, and it's right after Agamemnon has taken Briseis from him, so he's walking around this compound all pissed off and stuff. And then out of nowhere, he just grabs like a 10-year-old girl slave of his. He yanks her dress off and then just starts face fucking her. I mean, this is a pretty crazy book. There's a lot of crazy sex stuff in this, a lot of boy fucking, and just not too arousing for me. But this was a very crazy book in many respects. But in its own way, I think it's very accurate too. Like this is just a bunch of guys going to war with no limitations on what they can do. I mean, they can do whatever they want, and they do whatever they want. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of eye-opening into what men can do. I mean, you have to remember this is like 1,200 years before Christianity, so there's no like moral boundaries and guidelines and stuff, so it really is just do whatever you want, dude. Now, another good book about the Iliad and the Trojan War was the Song of Achilles, which is definitely kind of a more feminine take on the whole thing. This book is the complete opposite. This is a full-on, balls-out, masculine take on the whole Trojan War and the Iliad. I mean, there is smack talking, there is fucking, there is brutal killing. I mean, this is holy shit. And in many ways, that's probably how it was. I mean, just full on testosterone. I'm gonna fucking kill you, then I'm gonna rape your wife, and then fuck your children kind of thing, you know, just woof. Yeah, just kind of crazy. I mean, the truth is probably somewhere in between the feminine take and the masculine take, but maybe 51% of the story is more masculine, so I don't know. But, this is a very kind of book, but it's also got some interesting scholarly stuff in it and some interesting opinions. Like in the book, Terence Hawkins has it that the Greeks are actually outnumbered by the Trojans, which I thought was interesting. Like, he says, or the Greeks say that they are outnumbered by the Trojans 5-1. So I guess they have like 10,000 men, and the Trojans have about 50,000 men. Which, I mean, oddly enough, could be accurate. I mean, it just depends on, you know, how you look at the information. I mean, Greece was never a major military powerhouse as far as numbers go. I mean, they were always quality over quantity. Like I said before, I mean, Alexander the Great's army was only like 40,000 men when he invaded the Persian Empire. So it was always, you know, quality over quantity. So maybe the Greeks were outnumbered, but they were just better soldiers. And seeing how the Trojans were on Anatolia, you know, Turkey, they would have had a lot more of a widespread access to allies and mercenaries and stuff than the Greeks would have had. And who knows, maybe the Hittites sent them back up. I mean, it definitely shouldn't surprise anyone really if the Trojans actually did outnumber the Greeks, but it doesn't really seem that way the way Homer tells it. And in some ways, you could look at the Iliad as Greek propaganda somewhat. So why would he not mention that the Greeks were outnumbered by the Trojans 5-1? So I don't know. But it definitely seems like they were pretty even in numbers in the Iliad. But it's still a pretty interesting idea for Terence Hawkins to have the Greeks outnumbered. And Terence Hawkins does kind of throw away a lot of the scenes from the Iliad, like the, the Menelaus and Paris duel. He kind of gets rid of that and a few other big moments from the Iliad, just saying, that's just poetic nonsense, kind of. But, the battle scenes are really cool. It's just kind of crazy, all the smack talk and stuff. It really is kind of nuts. This is a very violent book. The gods actually play an interesting role in this. Yeah, Terence Hawkins made those scenes very interesting. Like, you're not entirely sure if the characters are really dealing with the gods or not, but I don't know. Like, probably actually the most interesting character in the book is Odysseus. Yeah, Terence Hawkins writes Odysseus as a very cunning and calculated and manipulative guy. Very, very interesting. Like, Odysseus just wants to get home. If he has to play the commanders off one another, he'll do that. If he has to send spies out to check on everything so that he knows everything, he'll do that. And if he has to make the commanders think that he's actually in communications with Athena, he'll do that. Whatever it takes to get home, he'll do it. And he's actually kind of an atheist in the book, too, which is kind of interesting. He looks at all the characters who see the gods and stuff as kind of nut jobs. Yeah, he's very interesting in this book. And it kind of makes me wish that Terence Hawkins would do a Odyssey book, just to kind of see what this version of Odysseus would be like doing that. Yeah, that would be really, really cool, seeing this version of Odysseus have to deal with all these mythological creatures and encounters and stuff, just to see if he could kind of persuade himself that it's just natural and blah, 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 So, yeah, it's a very, very interesting book, and if you are interested in the Trojan War, I would definitely recommend that you check this book out. It would probably help if you know a lot about the Trojan War, and if you've been, listening and watching my series, then you'll definitely know a lot about it, so I think the more you know, the more you will enjoy this book. So, yeah, definitely, if you are curious, check this book out, The Rage of Achilles.